Well, what are you going to do when you only have one Andrew but want a second? You get another one right here. Andrew Touhey, our NFL analyst. Andrew, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Steve. I went 1-3 in my picks. My wallet's not feeling too good. But I truly believe the NFL was reborn Saturday night. The evil empire has finally died.
Going back to that Philly game, though, Carson Wentz, we saw him leave the game with a concussion. Was his injury the biggest factor in the loss?
Philly was struggling with injuries all season. If they were going to win this game, they were going to need Carson Wentz to play the way he did the last 4 weeks of the season. He had 7 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and over 1,000 yards passing. Carson Wentz's athleticism is what makes him a difference maker. I think this hit by Clowney was dirty, and I think he should have been ejected from the game. Josh McCown is more of a pocket passer. He doesn't have the same mobility and awareness as Wentz, and you're not going to win a playoff game when you have 3 trips to the red zone and don't score any touchdowns, especially against a future Hall of Fame quarterback in Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Just unfortunate for Carson Wentz.
For a second there, I thought we were going to have the Nick Foles 2.0, but I guess not. All right, so let's move on. My Saints, Who Dat Nation, we're not feeling good. Tell us something. Did we get robbed again, or was this just a case of us getting beat?
The Saints have had a lot of heartbreaks in the Drew Brees, Sean Payton era. I'm okay with the no call. I think there was contact on both parts. I don't like the overtime rule. I think both teams should be able to possess the ball in overtime. Mm-hmm. If you win the coin toss, it's a huge advantage, but you got to give Kirk Cousins credit. A lot of people doubt him, doesn't beat playoff teams, doesn't win on prime time. I honestly think he wasn't good. I thought he wasn't going to pull it off. I thought he was going to choke at the end. But if Cook could stay healthy and if Cousins shows up, this Minnesota offense could be something special.
Absolutely.
I still think he pushed off.
Yeah, just want to get that in there. We don't have this discussion very often about the New England Patriots. Is the dynasty finally over after all these years?
Oh, my goodness. The dynasty is finally over. 6 Super Bowls, 600 scandals. This dynasty should have never have happened. Derrick Henry, the Luke Skywalker of the NFL, taking down the evil empire. Now, do I think Tom Brady is going to retire? No, he's too much of a competitor to leave his career on a pick 6. He will be back in 2020. He's not going to have Brady-like stats. He'll probably throw something like 21 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, but this dynasty is dead. New England's got a tough schedule next year, too. They got to play the NFC West. They got to play the AFC West. They also got to play Buffalo, Houston, Baltimore. And Tom Brady doesn't fit today's NFL. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. This guy right here, Mr. Andrew Touhey. Andrew, how you doing?
Rough week in fantasy. Those primetime games were tough. Halloween coming up. I've been seeing ghosts all week.
If anybody wonders what his favorite team is, I think he just told you. But going away from that team, let's look in the NFC North. Green Bay Packers, as we just saw, have been tremendous to start the season. Aaron Rodgers looking maybe the best he's looked in his NFL career, even including that Super Bowl run. But are the Packers the favorites to win that NFC title?
Absolutely. And it all starts with the quarterback. Nobody means more to their team than Aaron Rodgers. Without him, they're a 500 ball club. Last week, he had a perfect passer rating, 5 touchdowns, and over 400 yards. Mm-hmm. But what makes this Packer team special is that they're not relying on Rodgers' deep ball to bail them out. Granted, he has the best deep ball in the game, but they have been using their great running back tandem with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams. They are great at the backfield, taking a lot of pressure off of Rodgers' shoulders. And, hey, we might be getting that Brady-Rodgers Super Bowl we've been waiting years for.
Better late than never, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, man, we saw the Colts before. Brissett really performing 4 touchdowns through the air. Have the Colts been unfairly overlooked with Brissett, after the Andrew Luck madness? Mm-hmm.
The Colts are not getting the respect they deserve. They have won 13 of their past 16 games. They have the best offensive line in the league, and Jacoby Brissett is the proven leader of this team. There is a reason why he has that C patch on his chest. Last week, he had 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he showed great mobility in the pocket, being able to move up in the pocket and read a defense quickly. I have the Colts winning the AFC South, going 11-5.
Wow, AFC South. How about that? And it says a lot about those Patriots quarterbacks. Of course, you got Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo doing things in San Francisco, and then Jacoby Brissett in Indy, as you were saying. Let's go a little bit more west, though, and a little bit more of a sour note. LA Chargers really struggling to start the season. I think you know you're going to go with this, especially in their running back situation, but what's been going on with LA this year?
They've been on the bad end of a lot of games this year. All 5 of their losses have been determined by one possession.
Really?
And,
Wow.
they haven't been able to convert on third down. They're 26th in the league with time of possession, and they haven't been able to run the ball. They're 27th in the league in rushing. Gordon has been a total disappointment this year, and it all stems to that holdout. This team has not been the same, and the holdout has affected the overall chemistry of the offense. The Chargers have lost back-to-back games to losing teams. If they're serious about making the playoffs, they cannot lose games against Tennessee and against Pittsburgh. Their schedule does not get any easier as they still have to play Green Bay, Minnesota, and Kansas City twice. But the good news is the weather is really nice in January in Los Angeles.
That's true.
So they have plenty of time to go golfing in January.
Maybe out there, not here though.
Torrey Pines is a nice golf course. It's pretty close to Phillip Rivers' house.
Wow. What are you trying to say? You don't think the Chargers are going to make it, huh?
I don't think
Shot
so.
in the dark.
I don't think so.
Shot in the dark. Well, it says a lot about that Chargers team that they've had the pieces for many years. Phillip Rivers of course, he came in that draft class with Eli Manning in, was it 04, I believe. You have Keenan Allen, you have Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler, had Antonio Gates for about 25 years, it seems like. And yet they always come up short for one reason or another. And this year, it seems like it's going to be no different.
And I feel bad for Phillip Rivers. I
Yeah.
think Phillip Rivers is the best quarterback out of that 2004 draft over Roethlisberger and over Manning. However, he is on the worst run organization out of the 3.
Really?
I truly believe.
Between the Steelers and the Giants, you said? Or
Yes.
Wow.
The Steelers
really
and the
hard to
Giants
tell.
are far better run organizations than the Chargers. Tonight on SportsBuzz, an overtime thriller and record-setting performance on the hardwood. One college basketball team is poised to remain undefeated, and 2 teams punched their tickets to the big game in South Beach. All that and more on SportsBuzz. Welcome back to SportsBuzz. It's Conference Championship Week in the NFL season, where legends are born, history is made, and teams are remembered. Would rushing leader King Henry and the Cinderella Titans continue their magical run? Or would midnight strike early as Kansas City looks to end a 50-year championship spell? Let's find out. Week 10 rematch in the NFL. Titans taking on the Chiefs. Mahomes tossed to Tyreek Hill off the jet sweep for an 8-yard score. Titans up 10-7. Touchdown. Tannehill finds his lineman, Dennis Kelly, a big man's dream. But watch this. This may be the best play of Mahomes' career. Mahomes rolling out, scrambling towards the left, takes off and runs, does his best Steve Young impression, rumbling, stumbling. It's a madhouse in Arrowhead. Sammy Watkins puts the icing on the cake. Kansas City is headed to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1969. Party like it's 69, KC. Andy Reid, hats off to you.
Do you think he's a legitimate MVP candidate?
Now, I love Damian Lillard. He's hitting threes from the parking lot, as CJ said earlier.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't feel comfortable giving an MVP award to a team with a losing record.
Okay.
They are 21-27. They have the 10th seed in the West. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. When I'm talking about MVP, I'm talking about Giannis, LeBron, AD, Harden. He has 4 40-plus point games this season, which is amazing.
2 60-point games, too.
260, one of them again in a losing effort against the Brooklyn Nets. He had a 61-point game against the Warriors. Granted, it was the beat-up Warriors without their best player on defense in Draymond Green. I love Lillard. He's phenomenal, but I just don't think he's having the best season of his career, but I don't think he's MVP because of if Portland makes the playoffs, then it's a totally different thing.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. Now moving on to, we saw the Suns had a great game. Has Devin Booker proved he's a leader for this young Suns team after they beat Dallas the other day?
Oh, he's definitely a leader on that Phoenix team, and you could book it. I love Booker. I think he doesn't get enough credit, mainly because he doesn't play in a big market. I feel like if he played in a New York or a Los Angeles or Chicago or Boston, he'd be getting a lot more credit. He averages about 27 points a game. He already has the franchise record for most points in a game with 59, and this is a team that had Steve Nash on it. Booker has great body control while shooting. He's very efficient shooter off pick and rolls and off screens. He has one of the best fakes and jab steps.
Yeah.
He's a magician on the court. I really like him. He's got 3 40-plus point games. His biggest game of the season was the 44-point game against New Orleans when they won in overtime. I like Booker a lot, and he's very young. He's only 23.
Right.
The sky's the limit for him. Big Ten matchup, Ohio State playing Michigan. We head to Ann Arbor for the game. Chase Young chasing that first overall pick. Shea Patterson coming off back-to-back 4 more touchdown games. We head to the first, where Giles Jackson off the reverse. 22-yard score. Michigan setting the tone early. 6-0 Wolverines. But Justin Fields of Dreams connects with Chris Olave for the 57-yard score. Buckeyes up 14-6. The Wolverines would claw back, however, though, as Patterson connects with Donovan Peoples-Jones for the 25-yard touchdown. That's all she wrote, though, as Ohio State would win big, 56-27. Fields 4 passing touchdowns.
We welcome on our college basketball expert, Andrew Touhey. How we doing today, my man?
Andrew, it's upset city in the college ranks, and this is why we watch for games like this, and hopefully we get a few more of these come March.
Hopefully I'll have you to tell me who's going to come on top of my bracket. All right, let's get right into it. Who is your number 1 team right now?
Well, we all know Ohio State has the best football team in the country, but they also have the best basketball team in the country. Ohio State has won all 9 of their games by at least 8 points. They have a 27.3 point average margin of victory over Nova, UNC, and Penn State. My favorite player on their team is junior forward Caleb Wesson, who averages about 14 points a game and 9 rebounds. I also like sophomore guard Dwayne Washington Jr., who averages 11 points a game. They have a huge game coming up against Maryland on January 7th.
All right, so Ohio State's your favorite. Who's a team that's maybe underrated or sliding under the radar as we move forward into December and the conference play?
The Pac-12 does not get enough love in college basketball, especially the team that sits in front of that conference with a 10-1 record. I really, really like the Arizona Wildcats. This Arizona Wildcats team is loaded with NBA first-round talent like Nico Mannion, Josh Green, and my favorite freshman forward, Zeke Naji, who is the team leader in points, rebounds, and blocks. This team loves to beat up on their opponents as they have an average scoring margin of 22.3. They have a huge game coming up on December 14th against Gonzaga.